Nottingham Forest are all change and the Sean Dyche era has kicked off. They started the season with Nuno, they moved on to Ange, and now Mr. Marinakis, as everyone seems to call him, has chosen Sean Dyche to be the man to take the tricky trees forward. Last night they faced Porto, but this weekend it's Bournemouth, so not the easiest of starts for them. But Sean Dyche's record against the Cherries, it's actually not too bad. But Andoni Iraola, more importantly, has got a good record against him, winning 75% of all the games he's had against him. So this weekend, it's a huge one. Welcome to the opposition. This is Back of the Net. My name's Sam Davis.
My name's Tom Jordan.
Are you looking forward to this Sunday, Thomas?
I'm always looking forward to seeing Andoni's boys in action. Always. Yeah. It is definitely a game that I feel could be one where we have to be a little bit patient.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Dyche will want that. He'll want it to be a stodgy, horrible. He won't want a good football match at all, and that's how they could potentially benefit from it. So, yeah, we've had some tough ones against Dyche before. I think, yeah, it's obviously we'll come on to, obviously their form and stuff, and they haven't been very good this season, but they've still got bloody good players. That's why they did so well last season. So, still be a tricky one, but will it be on, mate?
Will it be on? Storm Benjamin, isn't it, this time?
We don't like storms down here.
No, we don't. So it could well be called off.
A little bit windy, doesn't it? A little bit windy.
So this is the opposition, the first of two parts. It's a double-headed preview. And Forest fans, if you want to watch the second part on YouTube, I mean, you can listen to our podcast where it's all in one show. But if you are on the tube, there's a couple of things you can do.
Yeah, make sure you give it a big fat like just to say thank you. If you click the bell, you'll see when all the videos are out anyway, and there'll be loads of stuff after the game. And and then click subscribe because that's the most important one. We really appreciate it.
You're probably wondering where we are. Look, Forest fans, this is your home on Sunday lunchtime and Sunday afternoon. This is Q Sports Bar. This is a venue dedicated to fans of the tricky trees on a match day. It's about a 10-minute walk from Folkestone Station, also another 10 minutes from Vitality. And there's plenty of good reasons to be here, right, Tom?
Yeah, you've got great deals here, haven't they? Hot food menu, American pool. Have you played American pool? What's the difference?
American pool's in the room next door. I think
Yes.
I think this is English pool.
Yeah, do you know the difference between American
Not
pool?
really.
I ain't got a clue. If you do, come check it out.
Larger tables, wider pockets.
Yeah, but that's snooker in it, which they've also got.
Yeah.
Dartboards, that's what
arrows,
I like. I like the arrows, too.
Yeah.
I do like the arrows. And then they've got like kind of that Oktoberfest style
Yeah,
area.
there's like loads of
nice.
areas to drink in front of the live TV. So they got live TNT, live Sky Sports. So if you want to come back and watch the Everton game afterwards, you're more than welcome to.
Drown them sorrows.
Why not?
We'll
you can
celebrate.
go to qsports.bar for all the information about that, where you can also sign up as a free member as well. But this is going to be the home for Forest fans, so make sure you get down here. Plus, of course, it's great for Cherries fans in the week as well. So, it's never dull being a Forest fan, is it? So, 20 consecutive seasons they had in the second tier. So, the class of 2022 was us, Fulham, and of course, Nottingham Forest, who did it via the playoffs. Stevie Cooper was in charge. First season.
Stevie Cook was at the back.
Stevie Cook was at the back, wasn't he?
Sammy Surridge was up top.
You're joking. 16th in the Premier League, they finished in their first season back. Which was, I think, not bad for a team that has just come up. But nevertheless...
They made a lot of changes, didn't they? Yeah.
Nevertheless, Mr. Marinakis gave Steve Cooper a warning towards the end of that season. They managed to get survival. The next season, though, it didn't start off too great. I think there was a run of just one win in 13 matches, and that was enough for Marinakis to say no more. Steve Cooper, who I think a lot of Nottingham Forest fans did like as a person, but maybe... At the start of that season, some of his footballing nous was maybe getting found out. The next day, they hired Nuno, who then guided the club to finish in 17th. Not great, but the foundations were being laid. New signings came in. And last season, what we saw from them was just nothing short of unbelievable, wasn't it? Yeah,
it was amazing. And we obviously, from our perspective, we had our best season in the Premier League. We faded, but we were in the conversation for Europe for a long part. But it was almost like we were quite happy with going under the radar a little bit because of how good Forest were.
Yeah.
That rightly so, everyone was talking about Nottingham Forest and just the way they were playing, it felt... I mean, they probably won't like it too much, but it felt a little bit like when Leicester won the league in the sense that it wasn't like they were dominating games. Yeah. They just weren't conceding many goals and were so deadly on the counter-attack. Yeah. Chris Wood had a season of his life.
Amazing.
He can put them sort of runs together that he did. Morgan Gibbs-White was brilliant. Eddie Anderson. They were so solid at the back. apart from when they come here. But no, they were very, very good, very impressive. And I always thought it'd be tricky that now they're obviously into Europe and all that stuff, and it's be very difficult to have a similar sort of season, but I didn't expect them to start the season as they did this.
No, that's right. And I mean, last season was strange because I thought that they were doing brilliantly, but there seemed to be a few little flashpoints, some on the pitch, some seemingly on social media, whereas almost like Marinakis was writing the tweets himself. But I remember after one of their losses, he confronted Nuno, and it was kind of retrospectively badged as nothing but normal behaviour. Not sure about that. However, Nuno stayed on, of course. It was the Conference League, which was then upgraded due to Crystal Palace's misdemeanours, of course. And it was all set up to be this really exciting one with Nuno at the wheel. And then, I don't know, what happened this season? What happened?
No, I honestly don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong, they didn't start well and they didn't look good. So it just so quickly felt like everyone thought, actually, this ain't going to last. How did that change so quickly? They had all the foundations, like you say, but it felt like as soon as they started the season, it was just, there's something went right. Well, even the way he was in press conferences, something went right. The relationship had been kind of torn.
They started off well, beating Brentford, then a draw at Palace, which, we think is a good result. And then it was a home defeat to West Ham, which is now ironic given that's where Nuno's at. So the club that effectively got him the sack then employed him later on.
And the other team in the relegation are the Wolves, ex-Nuno.
Oh my God, how mad is that? Yeah. And that is where all things changed. And it was after that Ange
was it that quick?
Was employed, yeah.
Mad, yeah, it was, wasn't it? Because then obviously Ange being ex-Tottenham then had to play Arsenal, didn't he? I mean, losing to Arsenal like that is what it is kind of thing. That's a difficult game anyway. But then going to the Swansea game, I feel like were they 2-1 up, like going into stoppage time, I think.
Yeah, I think they were. 2 late goals.
Yeah, but you kind of put that to the side and go, okay, it's only a cup game. Didn't look good at Burnley, did they? Only got a draw there. And the Betis game, my Spanish team, by the way, not that anyone cares, they went there and they were brilliant for a while, I thought. Ooh, Forest looked good. And then they seemed to not capitulate, but they didn't turn up second half. And then, really poor against Sunderland, I thought. Really poor against Midtjylland, Philip Billings' side. Not good enough against Newcastle. And then we watched, it was the early kickoff when we were at Palace, the Chelsea game. And I remember watching the first half going, Forest are in it. And it was like, they conceded one, that was it. There was just no hope, and then no one was, and you could just tell the writing was on the wall. I remember saying to you, we were walking to it, I said, he'll be gone before our game kicks off. And then he was one day. You could just tell it was coming.
It's weird because obviously you've got 3 managers with 3 very different styles. In a way, Sean Dyche's style is closer to Nuno's than what Ange's is, so maybe this will be more favourable for him. And he's that kind of character that will help bring the team together, like that galvaniser.
Yeah, Nuno to Dyche would make so much more sense than Nuno to Ange to Dyche. Yeah. So that's why it seems so bizarre. But you're right, mate. I think he's obviously Dyche. I appreciate that. I don't think he ever actually played for Forest. I think he was just in the academy and stuff. Right. But they're still. There's still a feel good around that because he's got feelings for the club. And I think some of the guys he's brought in as well. I think it's Wone and Steve Stone have come in. Right, yeah. And sometimes when it all feels there's a bit of friction, it's not really going the right way for them, everything seems a bit messy, bringing in people that know the club, that love the club, and just getting that feel good factor back could be really, really big for him.
So did you feel for Ange getting sacked? Because it was 39 days he had as Forest manager, which was the shortest tenure for a manager in the Premier League since Les Reed, Charlton, 2006.
Yeah, because there was a bit of a
long time ago.
Because it's the shortest permanent. Because I think the only one that's actually shorter was Sam Allardyce at Leeds, but he was appointed as an interim. So man, I felt sorry for. I felt like he was almost silly to take it. Yeah. But I appreciate what he did. It's a big football club and he wanted to have a stab at it again. I still think there's a thing with Ange that I appreciate you want to play a certain style, but you can't it's almost like he disregards that side of the game and you're always going to get caught out.
Surely you look at what worked previously and then build on that rather than just rip up the rule book and try to tell players to do something completely different. It's clear that I've even seen interviews from like Ryan Yates afterwards who, he didn't say it, but it was clear that there was almost a relief collectively within the dressing room once he'd been given his marching orders a little bit.
And I felt like a lot in the press conferences with Ange that I get that there's always loaded questions to him, but I felt like he was always talking about himself and about how he wins trophies and about what he's done in the past, and never talking about Nottingham Forest. No, like you're Nottingham Forest. Forget about Tottenham.
He thinks he's bigger than what he is.
Yeah, he was talking about his Tottenham and Europe like before his last game against Chelsea, and you go, you're the Nottingham Forest manager now. Like say about the Nottingham Forest and the football club you're now at and your power to beat. Do you know what I mean? That sort of, I just don't think he was playing it very well.
He didn't connect with the fans very well, and that's what I think
Yeah.
Steve Cooper obviously did incredibly well,
Yes,
like
and then
making friends
Nuno
with the
did it
team,
last
and Nuno did it as well, really. So
And Dyche is the type that would do that, I think.
yeah, he's the galvaniser
Yeah.
on the pitch, but also off the pitch as well. And I think fans will appreciate that. I sense that some Forest fans will be maybe frustrated that elements of Nuno won't be there with Sean Dyche, but those are things that he can work out. So what will Sean Dyche bring Forest in terms of his style of football then, do you think?
Oh, that defensive solidity will be there. I think that organisation will be back, which they completely lost under Ange, I feel. And I feel, that team spirit that you'll see suddenly stats like running stats and all them things that fans love to see about seeing a team that are fighting for the shirt will start improving quite quickly under Dyche, I would have thought. I think the fact is Dyche has always been a manager that's been very, very solid defensively. And if you actually, there's no disrespect, but if you actually looked at some of the individual players he's had, they're not, well, this Forest defence is miles better.
Yeah.
So you think, cool, if he could do what he's done with lesser players, if he can, and I think there'll be players like Milenkovic and Murillo that haven't started the season great for Forest in that back line that'll be going, thank God for this.
Yeah.
We can have a little bit, we could just go back to what we're good at.
Yeah.
Even Sells in goal, to be fair, who struggled, but he had such a good season. So, I think from our perspective, we'll hope that it doesn't come into play too quickly. And it might take a few weeks and that might help us. But I think Dyche has been there and done it with a number of clubs. And I think it's going to be interesting if you're looking really far ahead, that how is Dyche type of manager that Marinakis will want long term? I'm not so sure.
Yeah, no, nor do I.
Will it bring stability this season? Absolutely. And do I suddenly, from going, Forest could be in a dogfight, now I'm there safe? I do kind of feel, do you feel like that? I don't see them going down at all.
No. He's not the one that I think will, I presume Marinakis wants European football regularly. I can't see Sean Dyche being the manager to achieve that. I think he'll make them more, sort of solidified, if you put it that way, but challenging at the end of the table. That if Marinakis was annoyed not to get in the Champions League, how annoyed will he be getting with Sean Dyche, who I don't think has those credentials? I don't know. It's almost like it's his little toy at the moment, and he'll do what he thinks. It's like almost spontaneous thoughts. I think it's like impulsiveness in some ways.
Yeah, I almost think it's that kind of thing of it might be just short term in his thing. It is different, but you'll understand what I'm saying. That we got a lot of stick for it at the time, but obviously it's played out. We got O'Neill in because we went, this ain't going to be great, but I know we'll stay up here.
Yeah.
And then what I'll do is then I'll look for progression long term. We'll get Iriola in.
Yeah.
No one outside understood it.
No.
Now look at it. And I think it might be a case, which will be bad for Dyche won't like it, but hopefully he'll obviously try and make sure that's not the case. But right now, I think I wouldn't be surprised if it's a similar thing. And Dyche could do pretty decent. They come like mid-table, look pretty solid, and he's sorting them all out. And then suddenly in the summer, you go, Dyche is gone. It wouldn't shock me, is what I'm saying. But equally, I think Dyche, and rightly so, would probably say, hang on a minute, look at all the squads I've had. I've never had a squad that I've been able to.
Yeah, true.
Give me a better squad, which I've now got, and maybe I am capable of doing better. So time will tell, mate.
Well, they got a win on Thursday night against Porto. Tom, not a bad way to start your managerial tenure, and especially at home as well, in front of the home fans.
Yes, obviously got the crowd going again, and that's exactly what they needed. Porto are a bloody good side as well. But hopefully, I was a little bit concerned because I was thinking Porto are a good side. They just won. That's suddenly a feel-good factor.
Yeah, just no momentum, please.
Hopefully it would have taken a bit out of them, maybe getting the win, and I'm hoping they'll bit complacent. We're fine now. I'm trying to think like that, mate. But big win for them. Regardless of what happens this weekend, that was a very good win, and that should set them up in a good place in Europe.
If you're watching on YouTube, you can see Sean Dyche's managerial record against AFC Bournemouth with the various clubs he's had in the Premier League and also in the Championship as well. So look, just to sum up, he's played 16, he's won 8, he's drawn 2, he's lost 6. His points per game, 1.63. Tom, I'm looking back at some of those games there.
I feel sick looking at that 4 in a row for Burnley.
Oh my God.
I was at the 3-0 and the 4-0 defeat at Burnley.
Yeah.
The 4-0 one was we got absolutely battered by Burnley. And because we always talk, we have done already a little bit about Dyche's style of stuff. There was a couple of times I went to Burnley and I went, they beat us because, we were very good, whatever. But they looked all right going forward, you know, and you got to give it to them. Like, they did cause. I remember there was one game and Aaron Lennon I mean, it was Diego Rico, but yeah, he did. There was times I'm thinking about it now. Like, no, when he had some pacey wingers, which he's now got at Forest, he did utilise them, but they were just so hard to bloody break down, mate. The only one I really enjoyed was one of the first times I kind of met you. Do you remember? Last minute win, Callum Wilson, Defoe squared it to him.
Of course.
Yeah, that was a nice one. Last game of the season, I think.
I bought you a pint at the cricket club.
You did.
You still owe me that pint.
Yeah, I do owe you a pint.
I watched Sean Dyche's first presser for Nottingham Forest. He exudes personality, doesn't he? I swear his voice is getting more gravelly every time I see him. At some point, he will not have a voice box anymore, I swear it. But he was talking about skinny jeans and flare jeans and all this kind of stuff. It's clear that he's going to build a rapport with the Forest fans very, very quickly, just bringing a bit of personality in. He's kind of also done such a good thing as well by mentioning some of the greats like Brian Clough and stuff. So he's respecting the club that he's going into, not doing an Ange.
Exactly. I obviously alluded to it earlier that I felt that was strange that he didn't dip into that because of Forest's, you know, rich history. But Dyche obviously being there when he was a kid, and he's kind of, dipped straight into that, you know, how big this club is and how special this club is and Brian Clough, etc., etc. So yeah, didn't surprise me. He comes across well in things like that, mate. So
I'm sure the players will actually be listening to that and feed off that somewhat as well, and they'll realise that there's a collectiveness again and very much a togetherness.
He always gives you that run. I want to run through a brick wall for him. It was weird because we had obviously some, as we just went over, we had some games against him when it was Eddie Howe for us, and we always felt like they're completely different managers.
Yeah,
but for the same for similar reasons, you wanted to run for a brick wall for him if you're playing for him. So
agreed.
Yeah, it's certainly a good sign, mate. And yeah, and as for the throat, do you remember when there was that thing when there was rumours that he used to eat worms? Do you remember? And that's why he's got this grab there. It's unbelievable.
Well, as far as I've seen from social media, an old clip, but he loves his curry as well. There was a clip that HLTCO tweeted. I think he was in a BBC local radio studio, Lancashire, I think. So this must have been when he was Burnley. And the presenter gave him like a load of curries and rice and stuff. And he was talking about the oiliness of the chicken and stuff. And what a guy. Absolutely love it. But it's going to be such a tough match. Now, we can look at some stats. Now, given the managerial change, in many ways, it probably feels a little bit futile looking at this data. But looking at the last 4 league games for Forest, of course, we know they had 2 home, that was Sunderland and Chelsea, plus 2 away, Burnley and Newcastle. Forest gained 1 point, although the underlying stats actually suggest that they deserved more, as the opposition only had the higher XG in 1 out of 4 of those games. That was Newcastle. The XG value for goals scored was 5.43 compared with 1 actual goal. Now, on the next show that we do, the next part on the podcast, if you're listening, we're going to talk about Bournemouth's clinicality, and it's one of the things that we've been moaning about up until recently, where we're a lot better with our conversion. It feels like Forest are the other way around. Yeah,
it is a strange one. I think obviously you dip into the fact that Chris Wood was so good last season, and he's obviously hadn't started the season great. And also, I think Ange, weird one, he chucked Awaniyi in against Chelsea, didn't he? And he left Wood out. But I think I mentioned it earlier in the show, mate. But again, in that Chelsea game, it just looks like they got battered. Ange got sacked. There's some blooming good chances, and they seem it. I wonder if it is that thing that when you start like that and things don't go your way, it's literally a confidence thing. We've seen it personally with so many times. People were like all raving about Semenyo now. He's always been brilliant. He's just smashed a few in on the first day, and that's what he does. We've got a kid that's probably going to have to play up front at the weekend because Evan Nilsson's out, and he comes on against Leeds and scores last minute, and suddenly he scores 2 in his first. It's just confidence is massive, and I think in front of goal at the moment they're feeling that a little bit. And they're not. Last season, everything hit Wood went in. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm sure that'll come back for him.
Speaking about a relative untested player being played up front in Krupi, I suppose Forest fans might be having PTSD from the last time they came to our place, and it's okay because Evan Nilsson's out, we'll be all right. And then we whack a guy up who then scores 3 in Dango Ouattara. Not at Bournemouth anymore, sadly, but it could be one of them where there's a bit of unknown for their defence.
Do you like the 42 million? Because I don't mind it.
Yeah, that 42 million.
But yes, I know what you mean, mate. It was a weird one because Evan Nilsson, I think he didn't play in the away game at their place last season, which was the opening day because he hadn't quite signed yet. So we didn't have a striker in the opening day. I think we actually played Semenyo up front for a bit, and since we brought on Dan Jebison.
Oh my God.
And then in the home one, we just put Dango Ouattara up front. He got hat-trick. So it's a weird one. They're probably thinking, oh God, they haven't got Evan Nilsson again. Doesn't seem to need a striker against him. But yeah, it is sometimes it could be that unpredictability. But equally, this time, Krupi is a striker.
Yeah.
But yeah, coming off a brace, mate. So they'll be keeping an eye on that one. That'll be an interesting battle because their centre-halves are physical, big. Yeah. Krupi's tiny, little. Yeah. And he actually, because, Palace got some physical centre-halves. Yeah. And he actually seemed to rather than getting a battle with him, he just avoid him, and that can cause different problems for him.
So look, if you're watching on YouTube, the average positions of the starting lineups for the last 4 games, but of course, given the change of manager with an outwardly polar opposite approach, these may be redundant somewhat. The formations did seem to change game on game, with a very high defensive line at Burnley, but then of course more attacking at home to Sunderland, very defensive at Newcastle, and then a bit of a mishmash against Chelsea, where the players must have been rotating positions, as you can see by that clump in the middle of the park.
If you ever wanted to, that was just the way you worded that. If you ever want to say, what's it like when Ange goes mismatch? Isn't it? That's just, no.
So let's just check out what Forest did then at the start of the season in terms of their transfer business. Few people through the door.
Spent more than I think people realise, actually. Murray Hutchinson coming for over 30. Dan and Doyle I quite like, who's gone on the radar a little bit. But you've got to remember they sold Alanga, so
of course, and
Doyle's kind of gone in that position. We haven't seen anything of Callum Wendo yet. And McAtee, I thought we were linked with him a little bit.
Yeah, we were.
And I watched him for the under-21s, and I think he will come good. Igor Jesus come in, not really done a lot yet, but another one that could be good, same with Savona. But
we were linked with Savona as well,
we were. And the one I think was quite astute, season-long loan, Villa fans won't like it, Douglas Luiz, they were gutted when he went there. But I know, Villa fans love him, so I thought that's a good sign. And quite happened yet, but he will be good because I've always rated him. Zinchenko kind of went under the radar as well.
That's astute.
It is. I think, again, these sort of things will take time, but I think, that's a guy that's won the Premier League. That's a guy that's played at top clubs. And, he'll bring a little bit of that kind of, I would say, not just leadership. He has captained Ukraine, I think, but just kind of that winning mentality, which I think will help them in the long run. It just hasn't quite all happened at the start. That's all, I think.
So you mentioned Alanga that obviously went to Newcastle United. Any other significant losses that you can remember? I mean, there's a graphic on screen to remind you, but...
No, there isn't. I'm just doing this all off my head. Alanga was obviously a significant one in terms of fee. I think Danilo went, who at times I thought was quite a good player for him.
Yeah, I liked him.
Yeah, but it didn't quite happen. And then there was other ones, his backup keepers went. I think Turner, I think the other one was Miguel. I'm saying think, I can read that. But yeah, and then I think it was kind of more backup players, like Toffolo and Lewis O'Brien, who they both got from Huddersfield. So yeah, I think Alanga was the main one, and as I say, Danilo as well.
So let's check out the league table then. This is where it is at. No green blobs for Nottingham Forest, which might be a little bit worrying to their fans and probably exacerbates how they are feeling right now. But Bournemouth, you know what, we're doing all right. No red blobs. We are 3rd in the table. Liverpool are 4th. There are some sources that seem to put it the other way around. It's almost like they don't know the rules.
It's all exactly the same. Everything's the same, goals, score, goals. So the only time it goes head-to-head is once the season ended, because it's not fair otherwise, because you haven't played everyone. So it goes in alphabetical order, and we are AFC Bournemouth, as everyone knows. And whoever made that decision back in the day, top hats off to you.
Nottingham Forest are in 18th, so they'll be wanting to get out of that drop zone. Of course, Sunday's game, it is live on Sky Sports, and they'll be showing it here at Q. So if you've not got a ticket, you can come down here. And also, it's the home of the Carabao Cup next week as well. So head on down for all the live sport. It's a great place to be on a weekday evening. qsports.bar is the website you need to go to. So yeah, unbeaten in the Premier League, home and away against Nottingham Forest. Our head-to-head record, I mean, it's pretty decent, mate. I mean, look at that for the past, best part of a decade. That is absolutely insane. In all our home games against Forest, Bournemouth have won 7, drawn 3, lost 2. Pretty favourable. But also away and home, put together, all competitions, we've won 10, drawn 8, lost only 6. Happy days. So look, this has been recorded fresh after the Porto game. So if you're watching on YouTube, you can see the latest list from premierinjuries.com. Chris Wood, of course, wasn't involved, so probably won't be on Sunday as well. Bakwa too, but also Zinchenko as well. I think he only played 45 minutes before he had to be replaced by Savona. It's listed as an adductor strain injury, but of course Aina as well. I mean, he's been out for a long time. Looks like January's going to be back.
Yeah, long time, and that's a difficult one for him because he was very consistent for him last season. So yeah, but yeah, like you say, you never know the impact after a Europe game and bumps and bruises and fatigue and all that stuff. So So we'll have to wait and see on that one, mate.
Plenty of players to look out for, though, mate.
Yeah, well, I think last season, what's weird is last season it was all about Gibbs White. Brilliant. He's been in England squads, but it just hadn't happened for him. But he's still always one I'm wary of. He's had some good games against us in the past. Even when I remember when he was on, I think he was on loan at Sheffield United, and he was really good against us. But I think Anderson's going to be really interesting to see him live because
quality player. Newcastle must be. I mean, they had to, didn't they?
They kind of had to, but he's gone into that England squad, and now suddenly I'm like, hang on, him and Rice with Bellingham in front. I'll tell you what, is it coming? So yeah, always a little bit worried about him. But they've got good players all over the pitch, mate. It's just if it all clicks into gear like it did last season.
Hopefully, when Chris Wood goes through on goal, our defenders can scream, "That's offside." I saw that video on YouTube, mate.
Cheers, mate. I've only just realised the reference, yeah. But yeah, I enjoyed that with Greg.
You versus Greg.
Yeah.
Mate, disappointed. Very disappointed about the...
I mean, I still didn't lose it. I'll never lose it. It was Bournemouth v Forest, I'm going to lose. But 3-1 up. What is that? Because I took the 3-1 lead. I was double points last round. I have a day off. But yeah, I enjoyed it, mate. I enjoyed it. And yeah, I think I got a little bit of an undertone that they're trying to go, we're so rubbish. Quietly, they're thinking we could. It's one of them things, isn't it? If you're a Forest fan, you go, we can never beat Bournemouth. It'll be typical we do it when no one's expecting us to.
Yeah. This one's difficult, but let's try to predict the Forest team. So on YouTube, you can see what we're going for. 4-2-3-1. Matt Sales in goal. Across the back from right to left, Williams, Milenkovic, Murillo, and also no Zinchenko. It's going to be Savona for this. Across the midfield, Anderson, brilliant. Douglas Luiz. Ndoye and Gibbs White in that number 10 with Hudson-Odoi on the left-hand side. And then with the absence of Wood, which is probably possible, it looks like it'll be the penalty scorer himself, Igor Jesus, who's going to lead the line. Look, I will ask you for your match prediction, not now, but in the next one. Yeah. But Forest fans, make sure you stick around because we've not only got the Bournemouth-focused part of the match preview, we'll be doing our fan cams at full time. Check out some Cherries fans' opinion after you beat us or we beat you. Who knows? We've got a vlog and loads of other videos that are coming as well, including a second look. But if you want to do those couple of things that Tom said earlier, what was it again?
Oh, make sure you like it, hit the bell, and then click the subscribe button. That's the things to do.
That'd be massively appreciated. But make sure you come here before the game if you're travelling down. It's Q Sports Bar. You can find all the details in the description and the pinned comment. It's the place to be for Forest fans before match day. Other chairs, safe journeys. You Reds.
No pitch invasion this time.
Yeah,
we promise we won't.
Yeah.
It's windy though.